speaking, Republicans tend to nominate the guy who came in second the last time. They did do it with McCain.
Right.
They did it with because remember McCain came in second to George W. Bush in 2000.
Right.
And then the following cycle they picked McCain, and then Mitt Romney did really well when McCain won it, and then he became the next one. It was like next line.
Right.
So Santorum thought, I'll come and say, I'm going to hold out.
The GOP is going to support me.
Yes.
They're going to pick me.
They're going to pick me because I'm next in line, and that's the only reason he held out. Wow. My question to you is, do you think that Kasich's trying to pull the same thing?
Of course. Of course.
But he's not going to be the last man standing when Rubio is doing pretty well. Right. Now that Jeb is out, Rubio is going to surge, and you've heard it first here. Nowhere, because everything, the entire news cycle ended Friday before Jeb quit.
Jumped out, right.
You're hearing it first here. Nowhere else. I scoured the internet. Nobody's saying this, so you've heard it here first. Rubio's going to surge.
And you see the title of the show, Rubio Surges.
Yes, because we're preempting it.
Fake. But it's fake in the sense that
the surge is fake.
Right. It's not because he's garnering that support from people who just decide, I'm going to change. I'm going to choose him now. No.
Establishment is going with establishment.
Right. Establishment completely 100% supported Rubio, Bush, and maybe
Christie,
a couple other ones.
Christie, and also Kasich.
Right, and also Graham, who stepped out. But
oh my gosh!
So
who was this? Who was
out of everybody the GOP supporting? They're now narrowing their candidate down, if you will.
Right. The support for the establishment was already there. He's not picking up. The establishment isn't changing. They're just consolidating.
Right, and they're deciding. Okay, now is the time for us to make our move. We were going to be down with Cruz. But the women love Rubio.
Yeah.
Women are not down for Cruz like Rubio. Like, Rubio can win the female vote.
That could be an issue. We just need to hammer home that we cannot have our borders the way they've been for the past 20 years.
No. He came out with a statement this week and said, absolutely emphatically, we will take care of the illegal situation first by making them all legal. By whatever means the gang of eight, by whatever means he wishes to make them legal. He said that will be first. Afterwards,
so dumb.
We'll deal with the border.
What a moron.
Afterwards.
The fact that he would even think that is the best way forward with regards to illegal immigration just shows how completely incompetent he is.
Well, but they're polling the people, and the GOP's polling people, and people don't want to hear the fights and the anger. That the wall is so isolationism, and they're listening to CNN and MSNBC and all these other. And I'm lumping Fox into it too. That's why we do this now, because we're the ones you can trust. They're polling all these people that listen to the news, and the news is making these people feel guilty about wanting to be a proud American nationalism, bring it together, keep it at home, build a wall. And so people don't, that's too threatening. It's threatening.
And like the Pope says, you're not a Christian if you do that. We should be building bridges, not walls.
Okay, so the meme that has been going around since the Pope came out and lashed out up against the wall, which he was on the border of Mexico this week, bashing Trump and bashing the wall and wanting to reach over. Juxtaposition, the picture of the Vatican.
Huge ramparts.
This wall.
I mean, castles are jealous.
Yes. This wall.
It's got to be at least 40 feet. It looks like a 40-foot high. Like, you think of a fence is like, a big fence will be like 12 feet. That's huge. You get up into the 20-foot
Start out
range.
with your normal fence at your house.
It's like 3.5.
Okay, then you
4.
got the neighbor with the privacy fence,
that's
the
like
wooden
6.
pickets.
That's 6.
That's 6. And most counties, most cities only allow 6 foot high.
Okay, now you get into like the business that has something to protect on the inside, maybe like a junkyard or something like that.
Right.
Maybe something that even requires some barbed wire on top. You might be getting into the 10 to 12 foot range, or at least 8
Right.
foot high. That's where you're really trying to protect something on the inside.
10 to 12 is getting...
Well, no, when you get up to 12 to 20, now you're talking about an actual maximum security prison.
Right, because 10...
You've seen those.
Like a 9 foot, 10 foot, you're talking basketball hoop height.
When you get up into the 20-foot range, now you're talking about impossible to throw stuff over, or not impossible, but very difficult. You know, so that's why you're talking like maximum security prisons. You'd be looking at like a 20-foot high. That'd be really hard to throw something over the top of.
Right.
The Vatican looks much higher than that.
I don't even know what to compare it to.
Wait. Was it an optical illusion? That was like a fisheye lens.
They had people down at the bottom. It looked like something that the Phoenicians would build back during the Great Pyramid era.
Okay, I've never seen pictures or even drawings of it because, first of all, photography didn't exist. But have you ever heard the story of Constantinople that went under siege?
Right.
By the Muslims back then. They
used to be Istanbul?
No, it used to be Constantinople.
And now it's Istanbul.
Yeah, because they won.
And the only reason why I know that, why?
Because the
song.
They Might Be Giants.
Yeah, the song.
They Might Be Giants. Why don't we have that queued up right now? Oh, because we'll get sued.
Slackjaw back in the back room. He's, I mean, it could be she, could be he. I don't know. I've never asked our producer's gender, and that would be inappropriate.
That would be.
Because that person
its
could
name
be
is Pat.
feeling today.
Its name's Pat.
Yeah, Pat could be feeling today.
So anyway, the way they describe that wall, the reason Constantinople stood for so many centuries before it fell finally was because people would roll up to the wall and be like, or sail up because it was right on the water and say, oh, hell no, we're not even going to come close to being able to attack that. And it wasn't until the Muslims that eventually defeated Constantinople developed these ginormous cannons that were able to pound this thing to smithereens, that they were finally able to get through the wall at Constantinople and defeat it and win. That's kind of like what I would imagine these walls look like at the Vatican. Like, they're so tall. So anyway,
did somebody tell you they were 40 foot high?
I said that's what they look like.
The massive 40-foot high walls surrounding the Vatican City.
Because they look taller than 20.
So this was reported by Breitbart, and this was quoted by Trump.
I literally gauged that. I gauged that with my eye.
Trump said, Pope has an awfully big wall at the Vatican.
Oh boy. So should we try to explain exactly what happened between the Pope?
So the Pope comes out and says, tear down the Vatican wall.
No, the Pope didn't say that.
There's Breitbart saying,
tear down that wall.
That Francis, if he could, he would tear down that wall.
Okay. Well, here's what I think happened. He goes to Mexico. He's there, and he's doing all these tours. He gets to the border, and he says that anybody who wants to build a wall here is not a Christian. And he says it in, I don't know what language he said it in, but it wasn't in English.
Probably Spanish.
It could have been in Spanish because he was in Mexico, but whatever language he said it in, I think there was a poor translation. And Trump did not hear it directly. He was told by a Trump supporter, hey, guess what? Pope's talking smack.
Well, he might have also known that the media ran with Pope calls Trump not a Christian.
Well, Trump didn't know that. What happened was it was reported, translated, whatever. A Trump supporter heard it and then told Trump what he said, and of course Trump had an immediate reaction to it, which was, who is he to question anybody's faith?
Right.
So then they went back to the Pope and said, can you clarify what you said about Trump? By the way, he never named him by name up to that point, right? He literally just said anybody that wants to build a wall here. So he said it indirectly. It was an indirect attack to anybody who might want to build a wall here. So the Pope reacts by doubling down and says, hey, look, I don't know exactly what Trump said. But if he said that, he's not a Christian.
Oh,
that's what he said.
You know what? I am so, and I've had this discussion with a few people, and if you'd like to call in and weigh in on this.
And by the way, I'm Catholic. I mean, the first statement was like, ooh, you shouldn't have really gone there. And maybe it was mistranslated, whatever. The doubling down, though, come on, man.
So if you want to call in, 772-49-SMITH, that's some YTH. My take on this, don't you ever, any of you Christians out there, and the ones that I know, who I know very well that listen to us, I know it's not you I'm talking to. I'm talking to those Christians out there that don't know no better. Or if you know Christians out there that are doing this, tell them to stop. How dare you accuse anybody other than Charles Manson or Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, you shouldn't anyway, because...
But don't call him a non-Christian.
Don't say that somebody's not a Christian. Because
you don't know.
The thing is that...
You don't know their relationship with God.
A real Christian, or somebody that's practicing properly, knows that we all sin. We're all sinners. You can't sit there and say, I think that what you're doing, your behavior or your decisions or your actions is a sin. Therefore, you're not a Christian? No, we all sin.
So, Mr. Beck, if you're listening while you're fasting, because that's what you're doing right now.
Okay.
Stop calling people non-Christians.
Is that what he's doing?
I'm done with you. He's fasting for Cruz.
Okay. Is he like protesting something?
He's fasting for Cruz.
But I mean, what statement is he trying to make? Is he saying I'll start to eat once blank? Like, what are we talking about?
Once Cruz is elected president.
So he's going to fast until he's, you mean a primary winner? A nomination or nominee?
Probably. Yeah, probably. The winner of the nomination. Okay. Which will be this summer.
The thing about Beck is he's lost so much credibility with some of his ridiculous actions, and he's lost a lot of credibility.
And I listened to him a lot back in the day. I was there for him. I really liked him. But I'm going to tell you right now, old boy's going off the rail.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really off the rail. So,
well, the thing is,
I won't get too far off on.
Yeah. So, well, real quick, just to round out the South Carolina thing, I wanted to mention this. Of course, you know the media was just salivating over this. This is so dishonest the way this is portrayed.
No.
So Trump wins the South Carolina primary. So they ran as fast as they could to a pro-Confederate group.
No, they didn't.
They said, hey, who do you endorse? Please tell us, who do you endorse? So they said, we endorse Trump. They're like, look,
Confederates.
All these racists over here are for Trump. So obviously, Trump is a complete racist. So Yahoo picks up on it, and here's the headline, quote, pro-Confederate group endorses Donald Trump in South Carolina. So you read on, and it turns out that they just like that that they believe that he's gonna finally do something about the border, and that's
okay.
If they believed that another candidate was going to actually do something about the border, maybe they would endorse them.
Right.
But they just believe that he's going to do something about the border, and it's funny because the Democrats, they hear this border thing and they don't take into consideration national sovereignty whatsoever. They think we should all be one giant commune, the whole world. I mean, listen to John Lennon's Imagine is going to be our national anthem one day. And by national, I mean there is no nations.
Right. If they have a say, yeah, it will.
Imagine there's no borders. It's easy if you try.
No, it really isn't. But
it's easy if you try. So anyway,
Can you hum a few bars?
Ding, ding, ding.